What's up, guys, and welcome back to Empire Total War, where last week we managed to take Milan back. We basically took our men from Rome, which probably is going to be a bit of a problem, to be honest, now that we've only got that many men left, and Italy loves a good rage, so they're probably going to rebel at some point, as is southern Italy, because I mean, just minus 17. How am I supposed to fix that? Anyway. So, we took our men from there, and we took Milan back from the French after we just gave it to them to stop them from attacking us the first time round. But we took it back, and the French have made a bit of an interesting decision. They've taken one of their full armies way up north, and it seems like they're heading towards Paris. Now, I'm no military expert, but I don't think that is quite a match for that. Just going to put that out there. I don't think it's a match. They can try, but I don't think they're going to have much success at taking Paris back. But they have left still a lot of men just kind of stationed around inside or near Turin. So we're going to have to be a bit careful about how we deal with that. I think these guys are probably just a bit too close. If we were to attack Turin, I think they would reinforce them, and I don't really want to be attacking all of that in one go. So if we could possibly see if they could disappear, or if they would attack us, we might be able to take them out sort of a bit at a time rather than taking them all on one go. And we are replenishing still, so it's probably best if we just kind of continue doing that and then look at getting ourselves into taking Turin. And I think if we do take Turin, I think that might collapse France. I don't think they have enough to really support themselves. Although, having said that, they are making still a lot of troops, so they must be making money somehow. These ports... Wow. Okay. So that port, that line there, is making France 26,000 coins per turn. 26? Like, how are they doing that? Where are they getting all the trade to do that? That's ridiculous. Right, okay. So we're going to have to blockade that, I think. The French are defending it pretty heavily, though. They've got this full fleet down here. It is battle-scarred, though, so we may stand a chance. We have our epic fleet. This bad boy fleet up here is next level, by the looks of things, hopefully. And could potentially take this fleet on. We could also bring these guys from here. This is our bitch fleet. It's got absolutely nothing in it. There, it's the leftovers from what we had that we couldn't merge into this fleet. So we could send them as well as a bit of a backup. Although, having said that, I think the last time I tried to do that with naval battles, you can only really do it with one at a time, which is a bit of a fiasco. But yeah, I think we could potentially take them on. And if we could blockade that trade route, not only would we be, like, stopping France from making that amount of money, we would be taking that money. Or at least a good portion of it. 26,000 per turn. We're already blockading this from the French, and I think the French make, 5,000 odd per turn on that trade line. So, I think if we blockade that, we could almost cripple them. So I think we'll just head down and attack these guys. We'll send the bitch fleet round just as a backup, just in case, and see what happens. We can't attack them quite yet because we're not quite close enough. But I think that should be a match for this, given that these guys are battle scarred. They don't really. Yeah, I think they probably aren't in the best of shape. So I think if we can take out that fleet and blockade that trade route, that might cripple the French to the point of which they might just collapse. Because I don't think they'll be making enough money at that stage. I don't even know how they're making that much money. But anyway, we also have an army down here in Panama, which we're heading towards Bogota. So hopefully that goes well and we can actually take Bogota. Once we do that, we can then look at taking Caracas. Actually, the French do also have this. I'm not sure about Trinidad and Tobago. I think the French might have had that, so I don't know if that's maybe been a rebellion and they've taken it back. But they've definitely always had Ghana. So the French have had that, and they have the Windward Islands, and that used to be rebels, but the French have taken that. It's quite a while ago, actually. The French took that as well. But I doubt these places are making them too much money. It's possibly where they're getting some of their trade from, but I don't think they'll be making all that much money from them. So I'm not sure it's really worth taking. I think if we can get rid of the French in Turin, then that could collapse them, and this might just become rebels, and we could just then mop it all up. But these guys, the Grand Colombians, are just being a bit of a nuisance, so we're going to have to deal with them. But as you can see, it's taking us quite a while to get down here, so we'll see about doing that. As for up here, there's not really much going on. I would be recruiting more men, but we're actually in a bit of a financial situation here, because we only have 9,000 coins, which, I mean, we only have 9,000 coins. But our financial situation wasn't great, because our army upkeep is costing us about as much as we were making from our tax and trade. We were only making money because we blockaded that trade route in Europe, like with the fleet that was there. We're no longer doing that because these fleets are now down here. So I don't think we're going to be making too much money in the next turn or so. So we're going to have to be a bit careful with how we continue building troops, because if we just keep building troops willy-nilly, before we know it, we'll have no money. So we're just going to have to be a bit sort of careful. So I'm not really that keen on building too many men. What I will do, though, is if I am going to build them, I'm going to build them here, because I think this is going to rebel at some stage, and we need to make sure that well, when it does happen, there are men there capable of keeping the city. But I think I'm just going to keep the money that we've got and just end turn and just see what happens, because at this moment in time, I'm not too bothered about building loads of men. Alright, well, that's an issue. Although they are sending even more men north. Oh no, they're sending them back again. French don't really know what they're doing, but they have just positioned another full-sized fleet at the mouth of the Med, which has put our plans slightly on ice, because I don't think, although we could have probably beaten the single fleet, I think the two of them, I don't think we stand much chance. I'm not really in a position to build more ships, so I might just have to retreat and continue blockading other trade routes and see if we can stop them making money from those. But it would have been really nice if we could have stopped that full trade route and just completely crippled them. I might waste money and build fleets in and around. What are you doing? Yahan Hussaini. Just clear off, honestly, right? You killed quite a fair few of us, but you never really stood much chance, to be honest. I mean, he's still alive, but substantially less men than he had the previous to attacking us. But yeah, I might build ships maybe here, so in the enemy raids, we've got a rebellion in southern Italy and in Florida, as expected. Well, maybe not so much Florida, but southern Italy just loves a good rebellion. But yeah, I think if we head back to Spain, what I could do is build some really cheap ships. So stuff like this, just build a random sloop, and then we could just plunder that trade route. And the French would be forced to come and attack us, which I would be fully willing and happy to lose these ships one at a time if it meant blockading their trade routes, and it would split these fleets. So we could potentially attack one of them and get away with it, and then we could look at potentially taking the other one out. But we have so many ports down in this area that we could just build ships one at a time. What are you? A bomb keech. Interesting. You do cost a hell of a lot of money compared to the other ships. They'll only take a turn. But yeah, I think just 400 coins on a sloop. If we lose it, it's not that big a deal, but it could potentially be enough that it actually blockades these trade routes so much that the French, we could send the ship here all the way up and blockade up here, which would take this fleet probably about 2 turns to get up there. So we could, and then once they clear off up that way, we could then just blockade back here again, and then they would have to come back. So it's just kind of spreading them really thinly so that they can't just keep making money. That like the way they are at the moment. But what we'll do is I'll just can we sneak past? Let's blockade that. And we'll just send this fleet in front of it to act as a guard, so they have to go through that fleet before they can get to our master fleet. Master fleet. Right, so that should be absolutely destroying the French. They've now just lost 26,000 coins per turn. So that trade route that was at 26,000 is now at 0, and Turin is now going to be making substantially less money, which could potentially be enough to actually cripple their economy, which would be absolutely amazing if it does. The French have absolutely decided that they're not too bothered on taking on Paris. They're just going to sit there and set Clermont-Ferrand on fire, and yeah, they're just happy to sit there. I think they will attack us at some stage, probably. I mean, it seems like their whole ploy is to try and get France, like get Paris back, but I mean, they don't really stand much chance. I mean, they could send 2 armies, and I don't think it would be enough to take Paris back from that. So, yeah, they're not in the best situation, I think, to try and take that. They would be better, far better, trying to take Italy. It's in a much weaker position, especially with all the bloody rebellions that have been going on around here. There's bloody Neapolitan rebels just casually sitting around on the hoof of Italy. So, yeah, it's kind of annoying. They just will not give up. Right. We have rebels in Florida as well. And we have no men inside St. Augustine. How does this happen? Right, so we're going to have to get some people, mostly some militia, just for the time being, and just kind of, hopefully, defend St. Augustine from these bloody rebels, because I'm not too keen. Not too keen on these guys. If they attack us, like, they could just walk in and take St. Augustine without us even being able to do anything about it. I didn't mean to actually recruit those men. Right, army. So, can we send these guys as close as we can get? Yeah, okay, so they're in the city, which means that at least it's going to be a bit of a challenge for them to take St. Augustine. They can't just walk in. I don't think anybody else will make it, because I think the horses are the only things that can get that far. Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait. Hopefully we can defend St. Augustine. It's not the biggest loss in the world. If we do lose it, we can always take it back, given it's only rebels that have got it. It'd be much worse if the rebels take it, and then the Americans decide to take Florida, because then we're not at war with them, we can't take it back. Right, down here. Oh, hello. So there is a Colombian army made its way up to here. Oh well, we can't attack him anyway, because he's slightly too far away from us, so we'll just move a bit closer. I think our army is good enough position, like shape, to actually take on this army and beat it. So, as it is, I'm quite happy to just keep going towards Bogota. I have no idea what we're going to encounter in Bogota. I'm hoping it's pretty empty, but you never know. We could get there and it could be a full army. It could be 2 full armies, but we won't know until we get there in about a turn's time. Anything going on up here? Not really. Nothing much. Okay, that's fine. Oh, these bloody Americans, they're back again. They keep offering us military access in turn for military access, but if we accept it, about a turn later, they revoke our military access, but keep theirs. So they can just wander around our country, but then they're just like, nah, we don't really want you in our country, so they just revoke it. So it's happened like twice now, so I'm not even like going to even consider the offer, because it's just a waste of time, really. Alright, so one of the French fleets has cleared off, which is interesting. The other one doesn't seem to be all that bothered about actually taking on. Right, the French are actually coming. We can intercept them. Gautier Messier, on his horse, look at him, fancy bugger with his big moustache. He's decided that he's going to try and take us on with his 2,000 men. We have, Jesus Christ, we have over 4,000 men. Normally, 2,000 men would be considered a massive army. Like, 2,000 men is probably about as much as you could possibly fit into an army. Maybe a bit more, 2,200 or so. We have 4,500, near enough. We have 831 men, which is one of these armies, plus the other 2 Austrian armies, plus only one of our armies, which I think is the one inside the city. So this one here isn't actually even being used. So it's not even fair, is it, really? We'll auto-resolve that. We lost 1,000, which when we have 4,300, I think we can afford to lose 1,000 men. Most of them were probably the Austrians, to be honest. And Gutierre Messier lost a solid 1,526, leaving him with less than 500 men. He's not in a good position. He's going to clear off. I mean, and he's positioned himself right beside another Austrian army, so I doubt it's going to be long before they attack him either, and then he's going to be completely gone. Meanwhile, they're sending another army, not even nearly as big as the first one, to come up towards Paris as well. So if the first one didn't succeed, barely even made a dent, this one is definitely not going to be able to do anything. Another rebellion, this time Central Italy, absolutely wonderful. So it was actually worth recruiting those men in Rome because, where are they? These bastards have decided that they're not too happy with us. I mean, oh god, they've got drummers. They have drummers, right? Okay, we're going to have to be very careful. Anyway, I was going to say, we need to go over to America because this random group of rebels, they attacked St. Augustine, besieged it for all of about a second, and then cleared off back down this way again, so they probably could have taken it, to be honest. We only had 2 groups of cavalry sitting inside it. We do have walls at St. Augustine, which is interesting for a place of its size to actually have walls, but we, they just besieged it and then cleared off again, so they didn't even bother to hang around and see if they could have won it. This has arrived. They got dropped off up here and wandered the way down. So I don't know what they're planning, but what I will do is I'll just move this army back. Can't get it inside Fort Nashwack. Yeah. So we'll just put them right beside them so that they can help defend when these guys do eventually attack, by the looks of things. And we can see them off. They do still have another full army sitting there and whatever's in Quebec. But so far, I'm not really too bothered about the Quebecois. We've got bigger things on our plate, mainly down here and in France. So we can now make it to Bogota. So let's head to Bogota. Right, okay, so there are quite a few armies. About half an army sitting on this bridge, another army sitting here, about half an army, and a few units sitting inside the city. So I think we should stand a pretty good chance, I'd imagine. We've got a full army. It is a bit battle-scarred, which is annoying, but it's, yeah, should be enough, I'd imagine. So we'll see what happens. Right, okay, it's not enough. We only have slightly less men. We only have about 150 men less than Alberto Mendoza. So we're going to, yeah, I don't see why it's saying that we have such a disadvantage, given that we're only slightly outnumbered. They have reinforcing armies, which I think if we can take these guys out quickly, before these guys arrive, then we stand a really solid chance. I think if we, if we can deal with these guys first, and then we only have to worry about the 1,358, can't speak, 56 men making their way into the battle as reinforcements, then we could potentially win this quite easily. So I think I shall battle this myself, because the computer's giving me no chance of success. But I think if we do this ourselves, then we should theoretically stand a pretty solid chance. Right. Oh, interesting. There's a river. Well, I mean, there probably should be a river. We were battling them on a river, so yeah, we've got ourselves a river. Is there any? Right, there's a crossing point right here on the edge of the battlefield, and there's this bridge. Apart from that, there's no other way across this river. Is this the end of the battlefield? No, this is the end of the battlefield. So, yeah, we've got this crossing point and that bridge, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, we shall set our cannons up in a position where we can annihilate them, hopefully, regardless of where they start. We have these trees here, actually, which might be quite useful. There's a group of trees here and here, which our men are hiding amongst, which could be quite an advantage for us if we can get our men to hide. Yeah, all these guys are hiding, so if we could hide our entire army inside these trees here, the enemy might not know what they're coming into before they when they hit us. So they might think that we look quite weak, and then before they know it, they've got several thousand men coming running out of the woods. Right, so that's everybody apart from some cavalry hidden, yeah, our cannons. So we'll just start this, and they are actually on the far side of the river. They are crossing the river with their cannons first, which is a very odd tactic, followed by their general. Their general is turning around. Well, he's just kind of standing in the water now, not really sure what to do. These guys have all decided to turn around and run back this direction. I think we could take out their cannons. Actually, you know what? They've left their general completely exposed. Let's go. Right, they're also crossing the bridge at the far side. It'd be nice if we could actually destroy that bridge. We have killed the enemy general, so yeah, that's one advantage on our side already. These cannons are, for some reason, going straight towards us. They don't really seem to know what they're doing. Oh, okay, I didn't realise that they're actually attacking our cavalry. Okay, so if you could... Actually, if you could all run this direction, they will drag them directly into our waiting units. Quick, a bit quicker than that would be nice. Right, just get running. Actually, their cavalry's thinking of running away. Interestingly, maybe it's because their general's dead already. They're already thinking about leaving. Get a canister shot on them. Could absolutely tear them to bits if we hit them with a canister shot right now. Oh my god! Both of their cavalry units are now running away. Meanwhile, these units are running straight into our waiting men. That's another general they've just sent straight into us. Well, that's another one of their generals running away. What are they doing? Like, they're sending more men across this bridge, but they've got units just running backwards and forwards over there. And I mean, if they were to just all charge us at one point, they could probably take us out quite easily, I'd imagine. But they seem to be taking the weirdest strategies and sending them a few at a time, and then just walking straight into our traps, which have been working absolutely amazingly so far. And now they're sending their men that just crossed the bridge back across the bridge. I don't really blame them. They've probably just seen everybody that was sent across the bridge a few minutes ago come sprinting back in the opposite direction. So they are, again, slowly making their way. They're fucking pirates! What is this? They've got little bandanas on. What? This guy's got a bloody eye patch. This guy's got an eye patch. They've all got, like, eye patches. Yeah, there's like loads of them that have got like eye patches on. Some of them don't, but this guy's playing a bloody flute. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. Just a bunch of pirates charging at us. Well, I'd say charging, slowly wandering towards us. Kind of apt that the Pirates of the Caribbean song's playing when these guys are in battle. Pikemen are about to attack the horses, which should hopefully kill them all. Yeah, the horses are dying really quickly now. I think the pikemen are really good at taking them out. We have some men running away though, but I don't think there's too many. Some of the cavalry units, I think, are running away. Oh my god, the frame rate drops so much when it goes over that. Right, so that cavalry has just absolutely ruined about 3 units. They just charged one at a time, and they're now all running away. Yeah, I mean, we're in a pretty good position, I think, still. We could be in a better position. I think we lost quite a few men at one stage over here, but yeah, I think we're in a decent position. Still got all these guys sitting here that have barely seen any battle. These guys are clearing off. There's still the pirates inside this building. There's only 32 of them left. We've got 62 men. And these guys are now making their way across. And I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. I'm sending quicklime at them, which I'm not really sure quite what it does. But we've managed to completely, like, murder the general's bodyguards. Apparently he's still alive, though, because we didn't get a notification. That doesn't look like it. I think he's dead. But it completely murdered all of the general's bodyguards, so they're now clearing off. And we've just got a few units left here to get rid of, and then that's us. more of them running away now. It's just these guys and these guys. Once we get them to run away, that's us done. So it should just be a matter of time. There we go. Right, we'll just end it. Heroic victory. I mean, we did have, like, only slightly less men than they had, so I think we probably should have stood a good chance. The game just gave us no chance whatsoever. But, yeah, I think the fact that we had the river as well gave us a lot of time to sort of come up with plans and deal with them, because they could only come from 2 directions, so it was pretty easy to deal with. So we almost murdered all of them. They only had 200 men left. We lost half what they lost, despite them having more men. So yeah, that's them all clearing off, and we are very close to being able to take Bogota. So that'll happen in a turn. I think I might call it a day, to be honest. I think we've had some pretty successful doings today. Nothing ridiculous. We haven't actually taken anywhere, I don't think. But we have done a lot in terms of taking on our enemies. So, France are now pretty much on the edge of collapse, I would imagine, given that we are taking all of their trade money. They had 26,000, I think it was, heading into this port that's now being completely blockaded by these two fleets. So, they honestly, I don't see how they can survive any longer. They have a fleet here, and they also had another fleet that went away up this direction, both full-sized fleets, and they haven't bothered trying to take us on, which is really surprising, to be honest. I would have thought they would have tried to murder us as soon as possible to get their money back, but they've only really had one turn of it, so they're probably not really, like, wise to it yet. I think this turn, when I end turn again, I think this fleet will attack us. I think it's probably their only hope. But yeah, I think we've done pretty well to sort of take a big dent out of the French. They also attacked Paris and lost heavily. This is what's left. I would be trying to take Turin, but they've got this army just kind of sitting here, which means that we can't really feasibly take on Turin with this army, because they have almost 2 full-sized armies sitting here. Not battle-scarred in any way whatsoever, so they're fully fresh, ready to go. They have, oh my god, they have Napoleon. Napoleon is inside Turin. Well, that's going to be a battle and a half when we try and take him on. Yeah, looking forward to that. But if this army could potentially attack us inside Milan, I think if we could kill them, we then stand a really good chance of taking Turin. I think at this current stage, it's a bit sort of like, I think it's a bit of a lost cause if we were to try and take this on. If we attack this army, I think this like Napoleon army is sitting a bit too close, so I think they would reinforce, and that would probably be the end of our chances. We'd have to retreat, and I've done that before, and they've just completely avoided the city and left it completely undefended. So it's probably best to just kind of wait it out, I think. But in Southern Southern America, we have we have taken a pretty big step towards getting rid of Bogota, well, the Grand Colombians. We are 1 turn away from pretty much taking Bogota. They only have these 2 armies here, which total about 200 men, and whatever's left inside here, which is just a bit of town guard. So I think it's pretty much an inevitability we're going to take Bogota in a turn, and then it's just how long will it take us to get to Caracas? Probably, I mean, I would imagine a solid like 5 or 6 turns, not including how much time it's going to take us to like replenish our men here as well. Then again, we can replenish, once we take this, we can replenish as we're getting up, and as long as we're replenished before we hit the border, then yeah, we can then just keep going towards Caracas and hopefully take that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's going to happen this week. So if you've enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you're new around here. And next week is Christmas. So if you celebrate Christmas, then have a happy Christmas. If not, then have a happy holidays. And yeah, I hope to have a video done for Boxing Day. It's fingers crossed that I'll have a video done for Boxing Day. If not, then just like, it's I need to go and see the family and stuff. I think they'd probably be a bit pissed off if I didn't. So yeah, we should, like, it's kind of 50-50 if I have the time to do the recording and stuff. But fingers crossed, there should be a video for you on Boxing Day. And I look forward to taking Bogota from the Grand Colombians. So until then, cheerio.